Hi, everybody. I'm Peter Ramsey. I'm one of the directors of First. Growing up, I loved movies, fell in love with movies, but I didn't have any idea that an ordinary person could actually work in the movie business. It never entered my mind that it was possible. You know, I was drawing, and I thought maybe I was going to be a comic book artist because I was really into comics. So on my own, I was getting pretty good. But the connection between drawing and movies, it didn't happen for years. You know, Star Wars came out and all these other movies and all the books come out and you see like, wow, the paintings and the drawings, and I'm looking at storyboards constantly, and I started realizing, wait a minute, they're just people that do those, and I can do that. And if they can do that, then there must be a way, and I can do that. And it wasn't until I was almost in my 20s, and it wasn't until I was like, yeah, I think I want to do this, you know, but I want to be like a director or something. But I couldn't afford to make films on my own. I couldn't really afford to go to film school. So I found out about storyboarding, and that really did feel like the key turning in the lock. My first job, I ended up signing on with this agency, and I started storyboarding commercials. And I did that for like a year, and I was lucky enough to get into the union. The ball just kind of started to roll after that. I had a really great period where I worked a lot with David Fincher and Spike Jonze, kind of back to back. And I learned so much about, you know, clarity and a thought process, and about, you know, a level of attention to detail. A guy named Aaron Warner, he actually called me for the third Trek and asked me if I was interested in animation at DreamWorks. And I said, you know what? Yeah, I think I would like to. It seems like it could be really interesting. I got there. I started on Trek the Third, you know, learning how to be a story artist. Then they said, hey, we would like you to be head of story on the movie Monsters vs. Aliens. We would like you to be the head of the story department. I said, okay, sure. Doing that. And then they said, hey, we'd love for you to direct this animated Halloween short that's going to go on NBC based on the characters from Monsters vs. Aliens. And I said, oh, great, sure, I'll do that. And so, you know, and all these things were like steps toward, like, you know, eventually directing. Rise of the Guardians, it was a project that was already underway, but they wanted to make changes in the creative team. And everybody was wondering, oh, who's gonna take it over? Who's gonna? You know, luckily the Monsters vs. Aliens thing went well enough that, yeah, they were interested and they asked me to come on board. The funny thing is, for me, when I was working on it, I don't know that I had any expectations of how it would do. You know, when we finally did start previewing it and audiences really started responding to it, everybody started really feeling like, oh yeah, we really have something here. We really have something here. And hopes were like really, really high.
It's a dream of yours, you know, just like a little bit of wish fulfillment.
It was a surreal experience going through those years of making the movie, and everyone who was like so hopeful and so excited and so confident in it. And then it comes out, and the movie like didn't open anywhere near what anybody was projecting. I think it was like the new James Bond movie and the new Twilight movie had opened like 2 weeks before us. And you read these headlines on the internet like, epic flop, casts DreamWorks future into doubt. And you're like, whoa, why is my name in that paragraph? I don't want to get it out of there. So toward the end of that year, they asked me to come on and co-direct. I actually thought about it for a little bit because it was so daunting what had to be done. But finally I said, yeah, of course. This is like, in a lot of ways, this movie is tailor-made for me. We finished Spider-Verse really late. We were probably a month and a half later than we should have been finished for a variety of reasons. So we handed the movie over. We were all exhausted because it had been like a truly like epically difficult, trying thing. And the first reviews started coming in of the movie, and they were these rave reviews. It was like you have a baby and the doctor says, congratulations, here's a scholarship to Harvard. You know, it was like, what's happening? And just barrage of stuff. And then we got nominated for the Oscar. I mean, you're like, my God, what happened? What is this?
And the Oscar goes to? Mimi, you were right. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
It was just a shock that it was actually happening. I swear I had tunnel vision walking up to the stairs, and It was kind of completely unbelievable. And you know, I had my phone in my pocket and it was a bzz, 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 10 billion people texting me at the same time. And you know, you're looking out of the audience and there's like Spike Lee and like, you know, Barry Jenkins and Brad Bird. I mean, it was like being in the multiverse.
To our audience, we want you all to know we see you, you're powerful. This world needs you, okay? This world needs you, so please, we're all counting on you. Thank you.
Don't be too hard on yourself. You've got to recognize that nobody's perfect, that everybody, especially people who really try and reach for something, are gonna make mistakes. There's nobody in human history who's never had a setback. You know, you're more than that failure, and you're more than that project. You know, you're more than any one thing that you do.